Well, whoa. And then you spark it up.
Spark it up.
We got the vibes and you'll never stop the fire. We are burn, we blaze it.
AOC, check it out.
Yeah, what up?
Said I've been smoking high grade since I was only 13. Never done no coke, I keep it strictly since I'm mean. Chalice always bubbles and me keep getting higher. Never coming down because I'm living on the fire. We just smoking exotic.
Alright, hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I forgot to do the clap.
Oh, you just started over
I did it late. It's all good. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Joey Alicia, aka milkyvon. Appreciate you tuning in for our second edition of Beats and Brews Artist Spotlight. So just a quick intro of myself and what I do. I'm a local artist here and musician here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I put together different events. My main event is called Beats and Brews. It's a monthly multi-genre event. And here I have my good friends Seedfromatree and Alex from I-Vibes. We're going to be talking a little bit about our inspiration, some music, and what we got coming up here. So I just want to thank you guys so much for coming all the way out and hanging out with me. We've been just sitting here listening to music. Yeah. So, you know, that's a good vibe. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys.
Appreciate being
Y'all
here.
give thanks, man. Give thanks for having us here, man.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. I know you guys are going to be joining us for Beats and Brews coming up, and I just wanted to get to know you guys, like, where are you from, and how long have you been here in Jacksonville?
You want to go first?
Yeah, well, I'm new to the area pretty much. It was about 3 years ago. I came through with Ricky Starr singing in nursing homes. He's been doing it for 20 years, and he put together tours he does where we go Tennessee, Georgia, Florida.
Okay.
He's got the places locked in. You know, we travel, and every time he comes through, he used to live in St. Augustine and play with I-Vibes band.
Okay.
So that was how we first met, and how I first discovered that I needed to move to St. Augustine, because my heart was just like, this is where it's at, you know.
Yeah.
And we did that again the following year, and then now it is a third year later, and
Okay.
I've been living here since May. Bought a house down here, and fixing it up, and just linking with people, and everything has just been flourishing since I settled in.
Awesome,
Yeah,
man.
thanks.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Where are you
Yeah.
from originally? Where'd you move from?
Upstate New York.
Really?
I grew up, yeah, and I actually went and spent a little bit of time there right before I moved here.
Okay.
My mom was living up there, and she had this mortgage which was real high. She planned for my sisters to live with her, but they decided, you know, they didn't want to live there, so she was locked into this job at this paper mill factory. And I was like, I just thought to myself, I had just gone through like a breakup, you know, where I was in a 10-year relationship and everything, so I was just in this total rebirth phase of my life where I had to figure out what to do. I said, well, I need to go check mom, you know, she's in a position, I'm in a position.
Yeah.
And I got with her, fixed up some things. We sold the house she was in. She quit that job. She's an artist, so she has more free time to spend with her grandkids.
What kind of art does she do?
She paints and sculpts.
Super cool.
Yeah, she's been doing that my whole life, and that was part of my inspiration too, like being an artist and being creative. Like she's always, and like, you know,
Yeah,
showing me that side of life.
That
you know?
kind of gets you that from your core, and then also from what you see. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
What part of upstate New York, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh yeah, Saratoga Springs.
Saratoga.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where
I'm
we
actually
go,
from
yeah.
Long Island, New
Oh,
York. That's
okay.
where I was born. So I've lived here for a good bit. I originally moved back in like 2013.
Yeah.
So I've been here for a while, but I'm a northerner by blood too.
Yeah, nice. It's
That's
good to
crazy,
see.
man.
A lot of
I was
people-
born in Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah, I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Awesome,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
We have actually another
I'm a
artist
Florida boy by
that.
heart, though, man.
Yeah.
I like it down here.
I really like it too. It's
I
nice.
like it.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in Jacksonville?
Shoot, my family moved to Jacksonville when I was like mad young.
Yeah.
Back in like the early 90s.
Okay, so you've
I've
been here for a good
hot
majority
minute.
of your
Yeah,
life.
for a hot minute.
I
you
feel
know?
you.
So like, you know, I mean I lived around, you know, Bay Meadows area. Lived,
Okay.
But
It's right
mostly
around here.
Arlington. Yeah, pretty much. We used to actually, when we first moved from Pennsylvania, we had an apartment right down the road at the Bay Meadows Apartments.
What?
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, I'm about to go by my
Yeah,
house.
like that's and what's crazy is too, like we have some good friends that are from Hawaii.
Really?
And they one of the members of that family actually ended up having an apartment like right in the same complex where we moved into when we first moved to Jacksonville. So
you guys both kind of conglomerated here.
Yeah.
That's random but awesome.
Yeah. It's just a happenstance. It happened to be the same exact thing, you know, the same exact apartment complex. It's pretty trippy.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes it just happens.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, how long have you guys been making music separately and then together? So, you answer last. I want you to answer first.
All right. So, in terms of together, I mean, he kind of answered that earlier with the fact that we linked about 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean, but in terms of like actually working together, it's only been like probably about a year and a half of like really linking and like really putting ideas together and making something out of it.
Awesome.
But individually, I mean, my whole life really. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was probably about 5 years old, 6 years old when I picked up a guitar.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
how old are you now?
Well, gonna be.
Yeah, it's hard to remember.
I'm gonna be 25 again. Nah, I'm kidding. Nah, I just turned 28.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So a good 23 years of playing music. That's
something
awesome.
like that, you know.
That's awesome, man.
but,
I really,
yeah.
I cherish that, you know, because my son, he has a liking to music, as you guys saw earlier.
It was my father that
this
got me
energy.
into music in the first place, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Without him, I would have never even thought about a musical path. So
Yeah.
I give thanks that he put that kind of drive in me, you know.
Yeah, from a really young age. That's awesome, man. So how long have you been making music on your own? When did you first start?
Well, as far as I know, to bring up my mom again, she said that my middle name is Marcel, and she always told me that means little drummer boy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Mark or something.
Okay.
And she said, because when I was in her belly, I would beat with a rhythm.
Yep.
You know, and
Yep.
she said that, you know. So
Yep.
and my first instrument was a drum, you know, when I was a little baby, and I remember it too. It was a wooden drum, you know, with the skin on it. And that was the toy, you know. And
Yeah.
then I had a drum set when I started, and I started playing guitar and drums kind of at the same time. First band was a punk band.
Yeah.
You know, when I was like 14 through like 16, 17, then I
played
got
in a
more
punk
into
band
like,
when I was about that age too.
Yeah.
you know, other things to expand in, making drum beats.
I want to come back to that because that's actually something that came up on the last interview. That's funny that you guys talk about that. That was like one of your early roots. Because like myself, I come from a metal background. When I first started playing guitar, I love metal music.
Yeah.
And it's like now I'm all over the place. So it's interesting that we all have that common, you know, like a hardcore background. So and now it's like we're talking about reggae music. So
well, I always grew up on reggae music, like from a young age. Like my pops used to listen to like Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaacs, Aswad, you know, I mean all the, you know, the classics and stuff. But like, I mean, you know, as you start to hit your rebellious years and stuff, reggae music is rebel music, but punk music is also rebel music, but it's just a lot easier to hear when you're mad.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know
when
what?
you're
Good
going,
venting.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
when
you
you're
know.
going through a lot of emotions, and you know, and you're coming up as a young guy, you know.
Yeah.
You tend to kind of gravitate to something that mixes with the kind of things that you got going on in your head and things, you know.
Yeah.
So.
It's easier to release to get into that. I feel that, definitely.
You get that little fight out of you for a minute, and then you go back to listening to something that's got some substance behind it all, behind the noise, more than just loud.
And you just see, nature is a perfect example of everything in your life. You know what I mean? So it's like a seed, that common seed from a tree.
Yeah.
And that's what represents the music and life as we grow, and everybody has a mother and a father somewhere, you know, whether or not you know who they are or whatever, but we come and we're all dependent on food and water, air, earth, you know, and all the elements and things. So we all have that common roots, and in that there's a stage of life, like we're like the seeds that are in these settings where we're breaking through the sidewalk. But we haven't been cut down, and we haven't been necessarily train. We just learn to grow and keep continuing, and as we do it, bring forth, more
Yeah.
fruits. Because as it says, it would be like a tree planted by the waters to bring forth fruit in due season.
I like
So
that.
yeah,
I like that. That's beautiful.
it comes together.
I really like that, man. So I appreciate that insight. So I was gonna say we kind of talked about it, but still, I'm still gonna ask. So what inspired you to start making music? I know that you said your mom was a huge influence because she's an artist, but was there at any point maybe a moment where something sparked that initial inspiration that said, all right, let me pick that up and let me try it myself?
Oh yeah. Well, my earliest memories are my biological father. I didn't find out who he was until I was 18 years old, but when I was 3 years old, my mom went to live with him for a while from my father, who she married while she was pregnant with me.
Okay.
And he took me in as his son till he's passed on.
Yeah.
And he was always there for me 100%. But I had that memory, and then I put all two and two together later in life. But anyway,
okay.
I was there and saw him, and he's a musician, and they had the band room with the drums and all that, and I saw that, and that memory just lit a fire in my mind.
Yeah.
And all this symbolic and poetic stuff is just the way I've always remembered. That's just been strong in my head.
Yeah.
That's just, it's been moving.
So
what I mean?
seeing him up there, that was just something that is just like a
Well, I saw
fire
that.
starter.
And we were there, man. I had two cousins, these girls, and we listened. I remember we had this Barbie tape. It was a hot pink cassette tape.
Yeah.
And we put that thing in, and we would dance and sing and jump up and down the steps, like jump on the stairs and pretend we were like singers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we are,
Have your own little performance.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's where it starts, really, because everybody just has a desire. Everyone was a child at one time.
Yes.
And wanted to do something.
Yes.
And they made the decision that they could do it.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. I really love that. Thank you for sharing that. That kind of, it reminds me of a lot of different things. I mean, just growing up and listening to music and dancing around or singing in the room or singing in the shower and just having those personal performances. And then you're looking back at it now older, doing performances for people. And it's like, it really does come full circle in that sense, because we all gravitate to that want to have that feeling as a kid, or that pure joy.
Yeah.
What was it for you? Would you say maybe an event or something that happened that made you say, I can do this, let me start it? I know you said you were really young when you started playing guitar.
Yeah, well, my pops found a drum set and a guitar in a garage sale when we were that young, and so he had them set up in the bottom, in the I guess you would call it just like a living room space.
Yeah.
In one of our old houses.
Yeah.
And he would leave for work, and on his way out, he would tell us not to touch them because they weren't toys, that they were tools, they weren't toys.
Oh yeah.
And so my brother being 4 and me being 5, or 5 and 6, something like that. Naturally, as soon as he left, the first thing was touch it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how it is.
So
gotta get the guitar.
My brother Adam, he always wanted to play and bang on the drums, and I was like, man, the guitar looks so cool. I always thought the guitar was the coolest thing in the world. And now I don't even play guitar nowadays. Like, I play like acoustic guitar for local gigs mostly, and then like I still play and sing, a little bit on guitar with John Men. But when it comes to playing with like I-Vibes and stuff, I'm on keyboards.
Yeah.
And I've done tours for other groups and things for years now, and I've played like bass guitar. Primarily bass guitar is like my favorite instrument to play.
Yeah.
It's the coolest instrument to play, hands down.
Oh yeah. It's a very freeing instrument. You got the 4 strings.
It requires a touch too. Like it requires a feel to be able to get certain little things out of the instrument. That you can only get out of a bass guitar.
Yes.
So it's pretty dope. But yeah, like when I was probably about 12, my pops got me a bass guitar.
Okay.
And it was just like a cheap, like real cheap toy, almost toy standard type guitar.
Yeah.
But it was just something to learn on.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like a smaller scale than a full-size bass, so I was able to just play around with it and stuff. And then eventually we my brother and I started playing more and more and more and more, and then we were like, man, like if we got like somebody to play guitar or something, we could have like a pretty sweet band.
So you guys played a lot together when you were growing up?
Yeah, I mean we still played a lot together. Like
That's awesome.
We have a gig Friday night, right before the Beats and Brews that we're doing in San Marco.
Yeah.
And so and it's supposed to be my brother and I as acoustic duo, but my brother's got things he's got to do, so we're gonna have a brethren of mine sit in on percussion for this one. But normally we run acoustic duo up there at Hurricane Wings in San Marco.
That's awesome that you guys still jam and still make music together.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's a pretty big blessing. It's a pretty crucial thing to be able to have your brother, right there with you.
Yes, man. Yes, that's super cool. Awesome. And I appreciate both of you guys sharing that.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. So, I love this question. This is one of my favorite questions. So, growing up, because we're really diving deep back into our older memories here. So, this is really cool. So, growing up, what did you guys listen to? And how does that compare to what you listen to now? And I'm talking about, what you listen to whenever you're going to go play a show, or like what gets you amped, your feel-good music, and compare that to when you're like a little kid, like young growing up. Who wants to go first?
I guess I could probably go first. It's pretty easy for me.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, growing up, I always listened to like stuff like Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaacs, and John Holt.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Like how old was you?
Mad young. I was a baby when I knew what Bob Marley was. You know
nice.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
That's
but like
awesome,
at the same time as that, when I was in like probably like elementary school, middle school, whatever, like listened to a lot of different stuff from like Foo Fighters type stuff. A lot of Nirvana, a lot of different like. I'm a huge fan of music, just music in general. So I would listen to different types of blues artists like Muddy Waters and
awesome.
Little Walter, stuff like that, and then stuff like Rolling Stones. You know what I mean? Like a wide variety, because I'm a child of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like music is kind of it's everything that I do.
Yeah.
So I like to try and get well versed with different types of music.
Awesome, man. Yeah. I love that. And I like how you mentioned, the grunge, kind of the grunge and the alternative hard rock.
Yeah.
Because within that scene, you're
so
28 around when you were growing up. That's like the boom of all that music. So you got to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Seeing them coming from nothing. I remember when Sublime, I was super, super young. And hearing stories about when Sublime was first starting out compared to where they were when I heard of them. Right. Just in the garage. You got to witness that in itself, in its prime. Yeah. So it's cool to reflect on those things, because it's a really big moment that we witnessed in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, there's those standout artists in every generation. I feel like it's just somebody does something just a little differently from everybody else, and then just make a name for themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely super cool that we live in a time where we can pull up our phone and just listen to the greatest of the great at any moment from like different eras. You know what I mean? From all type of different eras, from now all the way back to like the 20s.
Yes.
You can listen to music online from all of that.
And it's like anything that you think of, you can just pull it up at your fingertips.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's also super scary.
So how about you? Growing up, what did you listen to?
Well, started out listening to like vinyls and stuff. That was my dad's and grandma's. They had a pretty decent like vinyl collection. I remember my dad was into Queen. He had the Queen albums.
Awesome.
Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins and those guys.
Nice.
Stuff, people. He had all the albums. He used to sing the songs with me.
Yeah.
And he would like dance and swing me around like a guitar, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So he loved music, but he never, and see, that's another, he inspired me in a way to encourage people, like some messages that I like to, like, I don't know, something that I like to say and think about is that really anybody, if out there, if you have any desire whatsoever,
Yeah.
and you have any kind of negative thought pattern that's making you think you can't do what you really want to do, like, you have to just shut that stuff off.
Yeah.
That's the key, and then you
Yeah.
know you'll find your way, and you'll see all of a sudden you've come, how far you've come, you know, and you're like, I'm really doing it. you
Yeah.
know?
Exactly. You just got to put it
Yeah.
into motion.
Yeah. No matter what age you are, where you come from, or anything, you know what I mean? If you have talent and you have a desire, everybody's got some talent, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard work that, you know, it counts even more than talent. But you'll go a lot further if you stay with something, regardless of where you start.
Hell yeah.
Because
Yeah,
if you drop out, you'll
100%.
never make
Hell
it.
yeah.
Yeah, you know. But anyway, back
It's
to your
all about
question.
persistence.
You know, it was like, yeah, music-wise, you know, listening to vinyl, so I was inspired. My dad had extensive stereo equipment. He was a carpenter, so he built like really big speakers.
Oh.
So I like saw
that's
that.
awesome.
I used to mess around and stuff. Like, I got in trouble one time because I cut his speaker wires with scissors and the thing went pop. I remember that one time. I got in big trouble for that. But I used to always mess with the equalizer. He had this equalizer. It was like a 20 band like stereo equalizer or something.
He
And
made that, or
no.
something that
He just had it. Yeah, and he also had a drum pad because he liked to play drums, but he kind of like gave that stuff up.
Yeah.
And didn't keep doing it. And but I used to mess with that and just the sliders and the sound, and then so I used to always collect old stereo equipment. I had like an 8-track player, and,
Yeah.
or I had the thing with like a record player and tapes when I was like 12, 13. Like, it had the record player cassette tape combo
Yeah.
with radio, and I would like practice. I would like play around experimenting with like recording stuff off the radio and then messing with a record and then,
Really?
like tape to tape, like
Yeah.
trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to make music? You
yeah,
know what I mean?
like kind of early sampling in a sense. 'cause
Totally.
That's
Because
really
I saw
interesting.
DJs and stuff in hip hop, you know,
Yeah.
and in New York it was really popular where I'm from.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
At least growing up, I don't know if it's just TV. Like, we're raised on a lot of television, and it's bad, but for what it's worth, but whatever. So is doo-doo is bad, but great things come out of that. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
So I think, you know, that's the key. Is like, no matter what the world looks like or what's happening,
Gotta make the
art,
most of it.
The whole essence of art is human beings rising above, you know, circumstances.
Yeah.
Whatever they are, you know.
Hell yeah.
Whatever art.
Hell yeah.
You know?
I love that. That's awesome. I appreciate that. And that's why that's one of my favorite questions.
I mean, yeah.
So, finally, what are your biggest inspirations for writing songs? So, what drives you to say, all right,
Life.
I gotta sit here
Yeah.
and I gotta make a
Life.
song?
Life experience.
Easily, like,
Now
yeah.
it's things just pop up in your head, and like I heard Bob say in an interview, you know, we just or maybe it was Bunny Wailer, but it was from back in the day. He said, you know, anything anything, we just put music in it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Food, whatever, you know, everything.
just life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that happens.
I mean,
everything
you
see.
can write a song about anything. It's just how that idea develops inside your head. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Because it's not
every
it's-
little
yeah.
experience is something that you can note down. A song is really just a note, memory.
yeah.
You know?
an expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
And some would say it's not the man in the flesh that's the doer. None of
Yeah.
us are. None of this is really the doing anything.
Yeah.
It's more of a channeling, you know,
Yeah.
of the spirit, and then that because you'll see these things develop that you didn't really do it, but you observed it, and
Yeah.
then you worked with something. It came from some other place. It's
Yeah.
not our own. You
Yeah.
know?
I like that. I like that. And that's, you know, I've asked a lot of people that question, and I get that answer a lot. Believe it or not, that's
It's
and it's
universal.
it's
Yeah.
almost it's
Yeah.
almost a
Universal.
unanimous, like, what inspires life. Like, without a beat, sometimes it's almost, when I think about it, it's almost profound. You know, a lot of people feel that way, and that's a really beautiful thing. No matter what genre you come from, or like
Yeah.
what experiences, what you're going through, if
Just
it's
how you-
positive
how
or
you put
negative,
those things, yeah.
it's music is just people, you know, and it's a better way of understanding that just it really strikes me, and I love hearing the way that it kind of turns with different people and how it reflects onto that character, you know,
Yeah.
that person's character, and it's just very interesting that, again, it's a commonality. Life, you know, that's a common answer. So I love that. I really do.
Right. Yeah.
So, and thank you again. Like, I really do appreciate you guys both sharing a lot of personal stuff and personal insight and very inspiring words. So, I really do appreciate you guys sharing that. I do have a couple questions about Beats and Brews. So, have you guys ever performed at Beats and Brews before?
Nah, first time.
First time.
First time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
yes,
super
yes.
stoked,
So,
man. Super stoked.
I'm super stoked. Like, this is my passion project, and I feel like you guys are gonna have a blast. But you know, I'm just gonna knock on wood because I know you guys gotta
Nah,
have
I'm
your
sure-
own
I'm sure
your
it's
own
gonna
experience.
It's
with
what you make of it.
I'm
Yes,
We're gonna make
dope.
it great together. We'll make it good. you know?
Exactly.
Yes.
Make it nice. You know?
So, how did you first ever hear of Beats and Brews? See,
I heard about it on your Instagram. Okay, so this is how I would start the story. Jay, the singer of I-Vibes, was going out of town. And they had a gig. Alex contacted me, knowing I had some songs. We worked out songs with another friend,
Yeah.
and we had some of the band and another friend come, and we did stood in and did all my songs, and I felt super blessed to have these guys
Yeah,
come in and
man.
love on me like that. And
Yeah.
then, dude, we busted it out, and I even met people at the Reggae at the Rock Daytona.
Yeah.
Last weekend, I met a couple people, friends. I guess went to high school with you guys, probably even.
okay, yeah.
Who was there, and he said, "Yo, I saw you. You did awesome," and that just really fucking supported me. That
Yeah.
made me feel
That's dope.
really good, like extremely
That's
powerful.
awesome.
It was powerful, you
That's
know.
awesome.
Yeah, and I'm thankful for that. And anyway, we did that, and then so I got your Instagram and stuff, and I linked up with you that way as
Yeah.
well. And I was looking at your Instagram, and you said Beats and Brews, and I got inspired by the DJ stuff, and you just being so creative and free, liberated, and creative, and putting things together.
Yeah.
That I said, yo, would you want to do a reggae thing? Because I'm looking for how do I take my music live more?
Yeah.
Because I haven't been doing a lot of live performance. I've been working in the studio a lot, and I've worked with I-Vibes, and we do so much together, and I don't care what it is. I'm just trying to find a way,
Yes.
whatever it is, every day
Yes,
to
get it
do,
out there.
do something. Yeah. So I contacted you, and I said, how do you feel about doing that? And you said, well, I'm actually planning on this next one next month, and to do a reggae, style, and it's a 420 celebration.
Yeah.
I'm also releasing a single called "Roll It Up," which
Yes.
Alex Leyva did instrumentation for.
Yes.
Really happy about.
I love
Yeah.
that song.
Yeah,
I really do. It's one that whenever we play it, it kind of gets in my head.
Right.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
one of those kind of perpetual deals to it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the universe worked its way, because I
Yeah.
really once April started rolling around, I was like, man, that's really gonna be close. 20's on Monday,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and Saturday is when I had it slotted off. So I was like, why not have a celebration? And the last night that we did was a theme night. We did hip hop
Oh,
because
word.
the whole idea of it is to do multi-genre.
Right.
Before we were
right.
doing it simultaneously, where it's every night is every genre.
Mhm.
But
Right.
getting back to it after doing it, we've been doing this for like a year and some change.
Nice.
So getting back to it after the shutdown, I started, trying to be more creative with it and starting to think, how can we get more organic? How can we start branching off in different ways? So
Yeah.
when we did hip hop night, that was super cool. Brought new people to the plate, and then, that the whole date thing worked out. I was like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
I come from a background where if I'm not doing hip hop or electronic music, I'm writing more folksy, a little bit on the reggae side, a little bit alternative. Like, that's my personal music. I haven't really recorded that too much because I've just cultivated it. Like when we all played,
Yeah.
I think you guys caught some of that. That was all like,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
acoustic type stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
I
that's
enjoyed the
like
whole
my
thing.
roots.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we got to do some of that type of music.
Yeah.
We got to get some organic, some reggae, and first person that came to mind,
Give
Alex.
thanks, man.
Yeah, and that's a
Yeah.
funny story. Not I have to cut in and say, I hit you up to make the story even deeper. Like, and then you said, yeah, told me about that, and then I told Jay about that, and John, I was like, yo, can you guys because I just happened to see them. I was like, "Yo, do you want to jump in with me and do this thing? This thing's happening." and then he goes, "Yo, Alex just contacted me and said that for I-Vibes to play at the show. And now because we all work together, so we've just been cooking up ideas on how to build a bigger show,
How to make it more and
Link
more.
and so we're like just a crew, you know what I mean?
That's just amazing.
Yeah, and it's,
And I know him from high school.
Man, we
I,
go
the
way
first
back. What was it, like
show.
2012?
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah, 2012. First show I ever played at the beach. First show I ever played as a vocalist for a reggae band. Like, literally, you opened up my mind just saying, hey, you want to come freestyle and do this thing? And then it was the Revolution song.
Yeah.
And, you know, your family was there. I think we played with your brother and your dad.
Yeah,
and
both of them were on stage for
man,
that one.
that was so cool for me. And I was a young cat just like,
yeah, man.
this is different.
Yeah.
And I always cherish that, and I appreciate you for that because it inspired, and I think I proceeded to actually try to play more shows after that. You know,
awesome.
It got me hooked on it.
It's awesome
Yeah.
seeing. It's been awesome because I see you on social media. I don't really get on that stuff too much, but like, I see you on there every time I open it up. I see something new that you're working on, and it's dope to see that.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
man.
Like,
Thank you for that.
it's all about keeping with it, man. Stay on that grind.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, what's your favorite part of the event? I know you guys haven't been to it yet, but just looking at it from an outside perspective, are there any aspects that you may be looking forward to or that you see that you like?
All the local talent.
Yes.
Yeah. I like the idea that it's like all homegrown talent.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, with the minor exception, Seed being, you know, fairly new to the.
Well, that's what makes it
But
so
that's-
exciting for me because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. I get to come out too and like really graft my thing into, you know, the mix. And see
Integrate
what's
with the
going
local
on.
scene.
It's a
and really
blessing. I'm like,
become-
wow, there is a scene, and that's part of my hope and my
Yeah.
dream of even coming
Yeah.
to move to be in this area.
Yeah.
This is what I found. Yeah.
And that's the thing about it is it's kind of like it's made into a scene because there's so many different pools that it's like the fact that everybody has one common thing that they just like creating stuff brings us all together. So it's perfect for that aspect, you know.
Right, yeah.
That's what it's for. So that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I'm just, like I said, man, stoked because of all the local acts that are on here. You know, like, I mean, you and I know a few of them just from like high school days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was gonna ask you if you had any specific memories of any of the artists because I know that there's a few of them on the lineup that you're familiar with from
way back.
From way back, man. This is really digging into the crates here.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yo, first of all, what's good, Don? What's good, Rhett? What's good, everybody, man? But yeah, man. It's crazy. We used to do shows at this spot back when we were just starting out with the band Jamen, and we were doing shows at this spot called the Pit on Beach Boulevard.
Beach Boulevard.
And that spot that spot was
that was the
that spot
man.
was a little special, I guess.
That's where you took off your training wheels and then you fell down a little bit and had to put them back on.
You learned something about booking shows at the Pit, man. I don't like bad talking people, so I'm gonna keep that to a minimum. You know what I mean? But for real though, I learned a lot of lessons playing there. But I also met a lot of really good people playing there. A lot of really cool talent.
I played my first show, Battle of the Bands, founded on MySpace at the Pit.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we did.
Shout out to Mauled by a Bear. I was in middle school, bro. I was like in 8th grade.
What?
And we found they're like, you gotta sell all these tickets to play. And I was like, all right, awesome. I started hustling these tickets. We played at the Pit, man. That was my first time. I was I was a screamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
The last show we did over there at the Pit was actually with Don and Rhett's old band Livication.
Okay.
And
Livication,
yes. Yeah, man. It was Cole, Don.
Shout out to Cole, man. Rest in peace. That's our
my
brother. Rest in power, man. He's always here with us. He'd be
Yeah,
proud
man.
as hell of
He'd
every
be super
single one of
stoked.
us,
Yeah,
man.
he'd be super stoked, especially seeing all of us together in the same event. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
everybody's kind of gone their different paths and whatnot. But yeah,
That's beautiful.
so Rhett and Cole, and then Bradley Williams. I want to
Yep.
say.
I saw him at the last time. I hadn't seen him in years.
Yeah,
I actually
and then-
saw him at
and
the
then
last
Don
time.
Cardona,
Yep.
and they had their own music that they were doing. It was dope. It was like, whoa, dude, like these kids are on the other side of town. Like I'm out here in Arlington, and these kids are out here in Mandarin, and they're chopping it up.
They
doing their
kick
thing.
butt, man.
You know what I'm saying? So
Livication
we
was
ended up
seriously
linking
cool.
with them a few times, you know, and but that was the last time we played at the Pit was with them. Opening up for Afro Man. It was like the craziest thing, and it turned out to be such a hilarious show because Afro Man, I no bullshit. He got on the stage, and for 45 minutes straight, while his phone was playing all of his entire set, he's holding a guitar in his hand, yelling into the microphone, Colt 45, a bag of weed, hey, hey. And he just said that for like 45 minutes and did like a guitar solo. And that was like the majority of his show. Like he did like 2 songs and then that for like 45 minutes in the middle.
That was probably the most surreal moment as a high schooler, you know, because that was like a cult classic. Colt 45, two zigzags. So, like, just growing up listening to that, you're like, man, I'm so stoked for Afro Man. And then you go up there and he's like,
yeah, we were all like, dude, like,
what is going on? That is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. See, that's why I ask these kinds of questions because I wouldn't have even known.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah,
That is awesome.
a lot of great memories, man, from growing up with everybody.
Yeah. And it's awesome that we still get, you know, we have this moment and opportunity to keep making these memories. So I'm really looking forward to it. Is there
Yes.
anybody that you're looking forward to seeing? I know you're looking forward to seeing Rhett and Don.
Yeah, obviously Seed as well.
Yeah.
First and foremost, want to shout out to like all the talented artists that are performing for this event on Saturday.
Hell yeah.
You guys, I've been keeping up with a lot of you guys on Facebook and Instagram where I can and whatnot, and you guys got to keep up at it, keep with it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Hell yeah.
Crushing it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And last comments and shout outs? You guys want to shout out some people? And anything you want to say to the people?
Just live life, man. Don't let stupid things that mess with you, you know, don't let those kind of stupid things that get in your way of being happy, being a good person. Don't let that kind of block you from doing those things. Just be good, live life, you know, be happy.
That's right. Always push positive vibes.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid, you know, to try to be still and be quiet. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? Start from that place of silence, and then everything that follows. Josh says, seek him first, and everything shall be added.
Yes.
And that is that silence, you know?
And also make sure you're there at Shantytown on Saturday.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Bless it up, yeah.
Any shout outs you guys want to give?
Yo, shout out Don, shout out Rhett, shout out all the boys from back in the day. Shout out my brother Adam, my brother Zane.
Shout out, you know.
Shout out the boys, Chris, John, Jay. Shout outs to all the fellas from the band. You know, super stoked to be on this musical journey with another group of just awesome people, man.
Yeah. Be the Lion Studios,
Yes.
Knoxville, Tennessee. Scott
Yes.
Nichols, bass player and studio engineer. He, you know, touched up the new single, Roll It Up.
Oh, man.
It's
Sounds so good.
Made it sound nice. It was mastered at Small World Studio in Jamaica, so big shout out to them.
Wow.
Give thanks to Ja Bruce,
International.
man, for working with us. Give thanks to Ricky Starr and Musical Therapy Ministries, Whitney, Dave, up in Knoxville, Tennessee. You know, my whole family and friends, everybody Fam Jam Festival,
Awesome.
CTI Sound, reggae, killer sound system. He can do, sets like up to 500 people.
Wow.
He did the Hard Rock Daytona,
Okay.
at the festival.
I
man.
saw that. It looked so good.
I've been learning a lot from Dan, man, and he's really cool. And just everybody here and everywhere, man. Big up yourself and push positive vibes and love your friends, love your family, and try to just be the good person that you are deep down inside.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh
Well,
man,
I appreciate you guys
Give
so
thanks.
much.
Give thanks for
Very
having
much.
us, man.
Yes.
Tough love, man.
Thank you. Ready to
Yes.
jam?
Absolutely, yeah, brother.
I want to hear some songs.
Let's play some music, man.
Let's play some jams. Hell yeah. Good stuff.